1 year ago, somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean, the X-Men are en route to Muir Island. Scott Summers and his team received an emergency transmission.
Made a terrible mistake. We never should have stayed. Now, I think it's too late. We need help. Please!
The transmission came from Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man. One of their own requires aid, so the uncanny X-Men will answer their call. Approaching their destination, Scott and his team can see that the Terrigen mist had engulfed the entire island. The Blackbird lands on the outskirts of the mutant research facility. Emma Frost scans the place, but she found only a few minds other than theirs. Scott informs his team that the staff is made primarily of Jamie Madrox and his duplicates. Scott lets loose a few coughs, but he tells his team that he is alright. Entering the compound, the team passes through empty hallways. No sign of a struggle, but blood has been spilled. The next room reveals a cancerous corpse. The X-Men must find out what happened here, and they must find the Multiple Man. Fast. Matsumoto, Japan. Led by Crystal and Gorgon, the Inhumans arrive to lend aid to anyone that will go through Terrigenesis. The Terrigen cloud has been making its way around the world, unlocking superpowers from humans with a dormant Inhuman DNA. It will soon hit Japan. Before, the entire city would have evacuated, but now, only 20% of the Japanese populace departed. The rest are eager to welcome the opportunity to become Inhuman. Meanwhile, in the city park, someone has gone through Terrigenesis. A massive cocoon covers the individual. Masked gunmen arrive on scene. They have been taking cocoons all day. The Inhumans are near, so they must move fast. Oh, and one more thing. Hail Hydra! The ground opens up, knocking the Hydra agents onto their backs. Crystal and her Inhuman family are here. She gives them only one warning. Leave or die. Well, Hydra came prepared. 3 massive gunships close in on their location. Seconds later, a horde of Hydra agents jetpack out of their gunships. They are ready for an aerial dogfight. Back on Muir Island, the Stafford Cuckoos found only one mine is still alive. The team rushes towards the end of the cliff. They find Jamie Madrox and his duplicates. All dead, one dying. Scott ran towards his friend asking, "Who did this?" Madrox can barely speak, but he had enough to tell Scott that it was the Terrigen mist. It did this. Scott doesn't understand. He needs more information, but it is too late. Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man, dies in his friend's arm. If what Jamie says is true, then Emma Frost and the rest of the X-Men are already exposed. Scott sends everyone back to the Blackbird so he and Frost can retrieve any research he can from the facility. Moments later, Scott got through to his one-time friend, Hank McCoy. Scott sends all of the data on the Terrigen mist to the one person that can actually understands this. The Beast is shocked, but he needs to run a few more tests to be completely sure. Help! Cyclops fell ill, and he collapses on the floor. Japan. The Inhumans have engaged the agents of Hydra, but Crystal and her team are on the defensive. A random gunshot stuns the Inhuman princess. The team surrounds their leader, while Flint creates a rock barrier with his powers. Hydra commander gives his agents an order. Light them up! The rock barrier will hold, but Flint is overheating. He can't hold them off forever. Elsewhere, the cocoon finally opens, revealing the Japanese man inside. He is confused and lightheaded. A sudden urge to scream releases an energy field in every direction. Hydra agents freeze still. The barrier comes down. Naga was their only flyer on the team. She battled the Hydra agents until the new Inhuman released something that placed them in a trance. However he did it, it seems to only affect non-Inhumans. Muir Island. Ileana Rasputin and Bobby Drake returns after sending the rookie X-Men to the Blackbird. They are surprised to see Cyclops back on his feet. Something is clearly wrong, but Scott shrugs it off, demanding that he is fine. He also got a hold of Hank. The Beast was able to analyze their data, and it is true. The Terrigen mist is toxic to all mutants. It killed the Multiple Men and everyone in the facility. Some mutants will react more severely than others, and Hank doesn't know why, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that the Inhumans lied to Scott Summers. They put their own species before mutants when they released the Terrigen cloud. As far as Scott is concerned, they killed everyone on Muir Island. New Adelan, capital city of the Inhuman nation. The Queen of the Inhumans hosts the leader of Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Storm of the X-Men brings forth newfound information to the Queen Medusa. The Terrigen mist is harmful to all who carries the X gene. Some mutants die instantaneously, while others appear unaffected. Medusa genuinely shows her remorse. She reaches out to her sister, Crystal, who is on a peacekeeping mission for nations whose people are affected by the Terrigen cloud. Crystal informs the Queen that there are 2 clouds over planet Earth. One is over the ocean, and it will not reach land for a couple of weeks, while the other cloud will reach Madrid in a matter of hours. Medusa gives Crystal a mission. Reach out to anyone who carries the X gene and keep them away from the Terrigen cloud. Storm will send her best futurists onto this task. Forge created a machine that can detect mutants within the vicinity. He will be of help. Furthermore, Storm states that all the X-Men know about this threat, including Cyclops. Her words wound Medusa. The Queen of the Inhuman informs the Weather Goddess that the Inhumans have no quarrel with mutant kind. The Inhumans aim to have peaceful coexistence with everyone on this planet. Storm knows this now, but she wasn't so sure when she arrived. But unfortunately for Medusa, Storm is not the only mutant that needs convincing. Storm returns to the Blackbird with Forge and Iceman standing by. She gives her teammate the recap of her conversation with the Inhuman nation. Forge is not convinced that the Inhumans will help. Meanwhile, everywhere around the world, every human, mutant, and Inhuman joins in unison for a message from the Renegade X-Man. With the help from Emma Frost and the Stafford sisters, Scott Summers is able to give the world a dire warning. There are 2 Terrigen cloud in our atmosphere. The Inhumans would have you believe that it only affects their DNA and that it is benign to the rest of us. Yesterday, one of our own, Jamie Madrox, died from an exposure to the Terrigen mist. There are 2 of these clouds moving around the world, bringing death wherever they go. The Inhumans release a toxic cloud into the very air you breathe. They don't care if you live or die. The Inhumans lie to all of you. But the X-Men will save you. Magic comes running towards Cyclops for answers, but she gets shut down by the man she follows and his second in command. Madrid. The Inhuman vessel manages to arrive first. Due to Cyclops' message, the people of Madrid are in a state of panic. Crystal orders her team to get down to the city and help with the relief efforts. Crystal has other plans. Crystal, along with a new Inhuman ISO, travels to the forefront of Madrid. The Terrigen cloud approaches, but Crystal was assigned a mission to protect mutants from its effects. Crystal cannot evacuate every mutant on Madrid, so, with ISO's help, the Inhuman princess will move the cloud. The 2 Inhumans give it their all, but the Force will eventually overtake them. This act of heroism will kill them. But the Weather Goddess arrives in the nick of time. Storm unloads a fury of tornadoes that cut through the mist. Her demonstration of power over nature ensures that the cloud will bypass Madrid, ensuring every mutant's safety. Muir Island. More mutants arrive to bury the dead. Amongst them is Piotr Rasputin, the Colossus. He is there for Jamie Madrox, but he is also there for his sister. With Colossus at her side, Ilyana Rasputin marches into the research facility, demanding answers from Cyclops. Emma Frost is quick to dismiss the Rasputins, but Scott Summers is finally ready to talk. He informs the X-Men that he will not sit by and let the Inhumans commit genocide. He has a plan. Cyclops reached out to his mutant allies. Powerful mutants agree with his statement, and they now prepare for an eventual war. Back on Madrid, Crystal and ISO joins their team on the ground. It is chaos down here. People are panicked. The situation appears to be impossible to control. Storm has deployed her team to help with the panicked civilians, but even that might not be good enough. Crystal concocts a plan that requires the newest Inhuman. She radios Daisuke and orders him to use his powers to calm everyone down. The new human is concerned. He's only been an Inhuman for a few days, and if he is to use his powers, the X-Men will be caught in his wake. Crystal doesn't have time to find Storm amongst the chaos. She made an executive decision to release Daisuke's power. Storm will have to understand. Elsewhere, Emma Frost reaches out to a mutant ally for the upcoming war. She tells her contact that the Inhumans and the mutants cannot coexist. The X-Men try to help, but the Inhumans responded with an attack. Storm and her team have been taken out. The mutants have to act before it is too late. And they need you, Eric. The Master of Magnetism replies,
You know me, Emma. I'm always happy to help.
Madrid. The aftermath from the new Inhumans' power knocked out everybody except individuals carrying Inhuman DNA. Daisuke, the new Inhuman, receives a warm reception from his fellow teammates. His awesome powers saved the day even though it knocked out the X-Men. Gorgon sees the danger. Daisuke just made himself a whole lot of enemies. Who knows how the X-Men will react to this attack? Crystal claims responsibility. It was on her orders that Daisuke released his awesome power. Crystal will wait for Storm of the X-Men to wake up. She believes that Storm can be reasoned with. But Emma Frost of the X-Men thinks differently. Frost continues her plans with the Master of Magnetism. She wants Magneto to contain the Inhumans in Madrid while her uncanny X-Men take care of the rest. Yorkshire, England. The Stafford sisters are on a mission to add another mutant into their ranks. They arrive at the residence of Thomas Jones, aka the mutant Alchemy. One more mutant for the upcoming war. Back on Madrid, the rest of the populace begins to wake up. Iceman points out that the only group unaffected by this attack are the Inhumans. Elsewhere, Crystal makes plans to head down to street level to prepare for the X-Men's awakening. But the Angel arrives, followed by the rest of the X-Men. Storm wants answers for this blindsided attack on her people. But Iceman is not so diplomatic. He provokes the Inhuman. But Flint will not be bullied. Tensions begins to rise, so Forge cocks his weapon. Daisuke can fix this. All he needs to do is activate his powers, and everyone except the Inhumans will go back to sleep. Suddenly, out of nowhere, magic emerges from her teleportation disc, knocks Daisuke unconscious, and vanishes as quick as she arrived. Enraged, Flint demands to know where his new friend has been taken. Iceman does not have an answer. A steel beam crashes down near the group, followed by another and many more. The Master of Magnetism and his team has arrived at last. Magneto mounts a wall around the Inhumans, blocking them from escape. "You've crossed the line, Magneto," Crystal states.
Oh, I know I have. Now, the question is, what are you willing to do about it?
Elsewhere, Magic sends her X-Men right in front of the Terrigen cloud. They brought a new recruit. Scott Summers convinces the young mutant that he needs to make a decision. By helping the X-Men, he will save countless mutant lives. He will be a hero, and he will be an X-Man. If he doesn't, then they all will die. Thomas reluctantly agrees to help Cyclops. He will be an X-Men, and he will save the world. Madrid. Magneto has got the Inhumans and Storm's faction of the X-Men pinned down with steel bars. The Inhumans do what they can to defend themselves, and even Storm questions Magneto's actions. The Master of Magnetism replies,
If I were really attacking, you'd know it, Aurora. I am simply containing you.
The Inhuman Princess Crystal is drawn to something else. Mutants are about to attack the Terrigen cloud. She radios in for backup with success. Help is on the way. 50 kilometers southwest of Madrid, Sunfire got the rookie mutant Alchemy in position to execute their plan. But suddenly, a blast of firepower takes out the two mutants. Queen Medusa, King Black Bolt, and their Inhuman family has arrived. Cyclops sends in the Stafford sisters to stall their foe, while Medusa turns down an attack order from Black Bolt. If there is a way to end this peacefully, then the Queen will find it. If they will not listen to her, then they will have to listen to the King. Meanwhile, Cyclops and his team arrive to check on their fallen comrades. Alchemy's arm is broken. He is in so much pain. But with a few encouraging words from their leader, the rookie mutant and his air support is back up in the skies. Medusa thought she stopped their attack, but it is clear that she now needs to send in the big guns. Black Bolt is ordered to stop Sunfire and the new mutant from attacking their sacred mist. But suddenly, Magic teleports in and stabs the Inhuman King through the back. The two Inhumans, Nur and Inferno, takes action and blast Magic into oblivion. But wait, the mutant fades away, revealing that it is Black Bolt who took the hit from his own team. You see, the Stafford sisters are not strong enough to psionically attack the royal family, but these new Inhumans are fair game. Medusa discovers the culprits, but their work is done. Sunfire releases Alchemy directly on top of the mist. As he falls, his touch changes the composition of the sacred Inhuman mist into blood red. Alchemy falls below the mist, giving Sunspire the opening he needs to catch his comrade in midair. Cyclops and Frost rejoice. The mutants won. If anyone asks, victory is red. Sunfire returns to his camp with the mutant hero, but all is not well. Alchemy's body became cancerous from his exposure to the Terrigen mist. Within a matter of seconds, Thomas Jones, aka the mutant Alchemy, takes his last breath, for he saved mutant kind. Emma Frost senses the arrival of Storm's X-Men faction. Not far behind is Crystal's team of Inhumans. War is upon them. Cyclops commands his team to stay put, while he parleys with the enemy. Alone, he screams their name in vain. Seconds felt like minutes. Minute felt like hours. But then, a portal opens up heralding the Inhuman family. Cyclops, what have you done? Medusa scornfully demands answers. Scott Summers tells his rivals that the Inhumans and mutants were never friends. They were headed for war the moment Black Bolt released a cloud into Earth's atmosphere. The moment they poisoned our planet. Cyclops will not be taken prisoner today. There is another cloud out there, and he has work to do. So, he states, this can go easy or hard. No one needs to get hurt, but either or, Cyclops will carry out his mission till the bitter end. Scott draws on the power of his optic blast, but Black Bolt beat him to the chase as he releases his awesome power with just a simple whisper. Any more than that, the city of Madrid would have been leveled. But with that whisper comes with a force so strong that it ended the life of Scott Summers. Muir Island, 1 week later. A memorial is held for a fallen friend. Many of the uncanny X-Men attended the funeral, including Cyclops from the past. Elsewhere, watching over the crowd stands Alex Summers, aka Havoc, and Emma Frost. Alex is surprised as Storm managed to negotiate a truce between the Inhumans and the X-Men, but Emma sees things differently. There is no silver lining in all of this. The man she loved is dead. Your brother is dead. And the Inhumans walk away without any form of repercussion? Alex stops Emma. He knows something is wrong. Everybody thinks that Cyclops committed suicide when he went face to face with Black Bolt. But that man was not his brother. That man was not Cyclops. Emma takes a deep breath. No more secrets. She has something to show Alex. Limbo. A depressed Daisuke is held prisoner in this hellish dimension. A portal opens up, signaling the arrival of Magic, the Queen of Limbo. It is time. Ileana is ready to take Daisuke back to his people. His people? Daisuke begins to freak out. He doesn't belong to these Inhumans. He has no place in this feud. It has been a horror show ever since he came out of that cocoon. So, if Magic is going to take him home, then he only has one request. Take him far away from Inhumans and mutants alike. Daisuke just wants to be left alone. Back on Muir Island, Emma Frost explains everything in front of the real corpse of Scott Summers. It happened when they first arrived on Muir Island. The M-Pox took hold, and Cyclops died in a matter of minutes. But Emma could not let her man die like this, so she orchestrated the whole thing. From Cyclops' telepathic message to the world, to his final encounter with Black Bolt. Don't you see, Alex? Says Emma. Scott Summers deserved more than that. His death had to mean something. He was born to lead, born to inspire. Emma further states that Cyclops is not just this corpse lying before them. He isn't just meat and bones. Emma made him into an idea, as she points her fingers into the side of her head. And you know what, Alex? Ideas never die. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and thank you so much for sticking around to listen to me ramble. This mini story arc was very entertaining, and it seems to be the last big event for X-Men leader Scott Summers. Say what you will about Cyclops, you either hate him or you love him. I started off disliking his new status quo because, well, let's face it, we don't like change, especially when it comes to such an iconic character. But the truth is that Cyclops got a bit boring being the Boy Scout goody two-shoes. This new status quo of him being a revolutionary is exciting. He is basically an amalgamation between Charles Xavier and Magneto. His death was pretty lame, but the execution following his death made a memorable expression on me, so great job Marvel Comics. Regarding the story itself, I feel no love for the Inhumans, much like most of you guys in the comment section. This story arc acts as the introduction to a much bigger story arc titled Inhumans vs. X-Men. Like I said before, the struggle for Marvel is that they need to get fans more invested into the Inhumans coming into this new big event, but I believe Marvel failed to do so, which concerns me. Personally, I will be rooting for the X-Men, and I think 90% of you are with me. This big event will be compared to the Avengers vs. X-Men, which did really well. Fans were split in half. You were either an Avenger or an X-Men. The marketing was also brilliant when they gave comic book stores either Avengers or X-Men marketing material. Fans responded in a positive way, but this time around, Marvel is struggling with their marketing, especially coming off of a big event, Civil War 2. That being said, I still plan on covering the Inhumans vs. X-Men, and I hope you will follow me on this new journey. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the Inhumans vs. X-Men issue 0.